Hi everyone, this is Christine and welcome to my channel, The Maple Diaries. From my past video, I gave a very good news wherein I passed my driving exam. So for this time, it's another good news because I want to share what's the secret or what are the things that I've done because I have applied my parents for a visitor visa here in Canada, and finally we received the good news and we already received their visa. I know there's a lot of people who were like kind of confused the difference between super visa, visitor visa, and of course the requirements as well. So I'm here to provide you the timeline, the process, what are the requirements and documents that you need to submit in order for you to have your visitor visa approved. So let's get started. So first, let's define what is a visitor visa. A visitor visa, also called a temporary residence visa, is an official document that is granted by the IRCC for travelers who wish to travel to Canada. So most visitors can stay for up to 6 months in Canada. At the port of entry, the Border Services Officer may allow you to stay for less or more than 6 months. We go now to the process. Step 1, it's a very straightforward process. First, you have to determine if you meet the eligibility. One of the main requirements nowadays is that you have received at least 2 COVID-19 vaccine doses. Such as a proof of vaccination, you can download ArriveCAN app. You need to show this document to the Border Services Officer when you arrive here in Canada. You can also upload the proof of vaccination to this application. But this is not applicable to upload when you were applying just for your visitor visa. That would be a main requirements once you get here in the border services. So to be clear, I'm gonna segregate the requirements from my parents and for myself as their sponsor. So first, for my parents, we submitted a travel history, which is optional. If your parents travel to Canada or to other countries, this can show that they've been able to get a visa in the past. So proof of this includes copies of previous visas in your passport. And another requirement is a bank account statement, which is another optional requirement. So this proves if they have enough money to support themselves during their stay in Canada. So to be honest, with my parents' case, they don't really have much money in the bank, and the show money that they had was just really purely like a very minimal amount, but still I submitted just to show that they have their own bank accounts from the Philippines. But to be honest, the money itself, it wasn't really a huge amount. At first I was just really like, kind of also worried because this might create an impact to their application. But nevertheless, we received the approval, and I don't think that bank statements is always a big deal for most immigration officers. They have to submit a clear colored copy of their passport, a marriage certificate, their land title, and a family photo. Actually, the family photo is not really part of the requirements. I'm the one who really opened the application for them via portal online, and I submitted all the things that I think that would really help them to have their visa approved. So one of this is a family photo. So just to show the connection that I have with them as my parents, and of course showing also a family photo with my brother who's also based in the Philippines, just for the immigration to realize that my parents also have a strong tie in the Philippines. So at least even my parents don't have much significant bank account back in my home country, at least they have their land title, their property, their home. So at least I was able to submit that. And so for the second layer of these requirements, also I need to submit something from myself or from my family or my husband. The use of a representative, which is called IMM 5476. This is if applicable. So family members who apply on behalf of the applicant or third parties need to complete this form. So second one is the authority to release personal information to a designated individual, which is the IMM 5475, which is also optional. You will only use this form if you want to allow IRCC to release your personal information to someone you choose. So the person you choose will be able to get information on your case file, such as the status of your application. Next is the completed IMM 5645 family information form. The next one, which is very important, is the invitation letter. So as you can see from the screen, that the invitation letter really includes all the necessary information that the immigration needs to know about my family. So like, for example, their full name, their birth dates, their addresses. So that's very important. In that letter as well, I have also included my name and my spouse's name and our home address here in Canada, with our contact numbers and our status as well, since we are also a permanent resident here. And yeah, so the invitation letters should be very straightforward, very clear. You don't really have to have a 2-page letter. Just tell them the purpose of your family's visit here. In my case, the main purpose is really, it's because I want my parents to come over here before I give birth. We just need really more of a family support once we meet our little one. So that's also like a bit of reunification, because it's been like 4 or 5 years now that I haven't seen and been with my parents. So it's like a bit of a reunion. And then second would be just leisure. To be honest, it's not really leisure, because my parents are coming over here during the winter season, so I don't know if that would be possible, probably for a bit. Of course, another one is the residency status or PR card, my passport copy and my husband as well, marriage certificate, a birth certificate to show my relationship with my parents, since I already have a different surname. So bank statements in Canada, I have submitted that. We have the notice of tax assessments. So I have also submitted our employment certificates, our pay stubs, of course the land title, because we already own our home here in Canada. And with the bank statements or financial standings here in Canada, I think it's very crucial, because in my case, my parents didn't really have savings that or show money to bring here in Canada. So we decided that we'll be just very transparent, whatever our financial status here. So having a job, it really helped a lot. And of course, paying taxes with our assessments also really is a big deal. And yeah, of course, our bank statements, our debit and debit cards, of course, whatever savings we do have in our bank, we really submitted probably like a 6-month bank statement. I think it's only 4-month bank statement, but what I did was also 6 months. That's a lot. So just to send them all this information that are necessary, just to make sure that we can support my parents once they come over here in Canada. Another one would be also like the same thing, family photos, and of course the ultrasound photo. Maybe because in my case, I just want to prove to them as well that I'm really giving birth, and I just want to show them the status of my pregnancy to the immigration as well. So after you gathered all these very important requirements, the next step for that is that you should be able to apply online with the IRCC portal. So first, you have to create an account and sign in. Second is to complete the online form and upload all your documents. After you answer all the questions, you will get a list of documents that you need to upload. Afterwards, you have to pay for the visa fees, which costs I think 100 Canadian dollars per applicant. And once you submitted all the necessary documentation and pay your fees, you have to give your fingerprints and photo, like the biometrics. So my parents has to submit that. Once the application is approved, you will send your application to VFS. So in my parents' case, I want to show you the exact timeline of the visa application of my parents. So on May 7, 2022, we submitted their application via RCC portal. Then May 7, 2022, we received the biometrics collection letter. That was very quick. By May 12 of the same date, the background check was completed right away. But then again, to be honest, it was a struggle because we never heard anything. Our online portal, our status, it doesn't show the updated status. So we waited for 3 months just to have this good news from the immigration. So during the 3 months, I was already thinking that, they might not be able to really come on time before my delivery, because it feels like it's gonna be there's a lot of backlog in the immigration process. And I was already thinking that maybe they could just come over next year, and I was already preparing myself that there will be no parents coming for this year. But then again, it was such a good news. After 3 months, we were able to receive the good news from the immigration. So on August 16, 2022, that's the day that the application was approved. Of course, prior to that, there was this request for passport for my parents, which happened also on August 8, 2022. So what happened is that we received first the request for a passport before we found out that the application was approved. But technically, if you receive that request for passport, you're already okay, you're already good to go. After a week of August 8th, my parents had finally received their passports, which is a multiple entry 10-year visitor visa. Oh, they said receive a 10-year multiple entry visa. Oh, so that was a very nice turnaround. It wasn't supposedly, I think during, if it's not pandemic, it would only take you a month to process a visitor visa. But now, because of the pandemic, took a little while, but at least 3 months is not bad at all. I've heard some people, some applicants even have been waiting for a year now. So I don't know what are the circumstances, how the IRCC really look after all these applications. It's really a case-to-case basis, depends from the country you're coming. And yeah, so probably also, of course, depends also on the requirements that you have submitted. So on a personal note, due to the backlog of approval of applications, I even have ordered GMCS notes just for me to really understand what's going on with the application of my parents. If you want to do the same, feel free to check the link below. Please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, The Maple Diaries. I'll see you soon as much as I can before this big blessing comes out. Thank you so much. You have a good day. Bye bye.